Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be reacting to the report from John Keim that says the Washington Commanders will not be drafting cornerback Joey Porter Jr. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. It takes 1 second, just hit that subscribe button, also hit that like button and that notification bell as well. Make sure you guys check out Manta Sleep Mask in the description. So we are about 5 days away from the first round of the NFL draft. Super excited. I'll keep giving you guys draft content. Might do a dream mock draft for the Washington Commanders, and I'm streaming tomorrow on this channel with Rio Robinson. Might have a couple other people on as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, excited for day 1, day 2, and day 3, everything. So we finally know who's on this team, and so we can learn more about them and how they fit and fill the holes that we have on this team. So right now, it's kind of lying season in NFL circles. The GMs even say it out up front. But on this note, I think and Keim knows that. But in this particular instance, I think he knows it, and he's known it for a while that Joey Porter might not be a fit for the Commanders. And I've said this for multiple months. I don't think he's going to be the pick at 16, and if he fit the scheme and everything, I would gladly take him at 16, or if we traded back, but it doesn't seem like he does, and I think that's why they had him in for the top 30 visit, just to make sure. They probably already knew he wasn't going to be a fit, but they wanted to make sure. So we want Dallas quoted John Keim here. I'm not sure if it was in his podcast or his blog on ESPN, but on the possibility of drafting a corner at 16, John Keim says it won't be Joey Porter Jr. And someone commented and said, no one knows that for sure, not even Keim, which I guess is true, but Keim says feel pretty good on this one. And when he says that, I'm going to believe him. I am not going to doubt Keim when it comes to this stuff, and he's usually not like super firm on something and saying it so definitively. So if he's saying that, I believe it, and it won't be Joey Porter Jr. And yeah, I've been saying that for the last couple months. Just it's not a great scheme fit for the Commanders because he likes to play a lot. He's better in man, and obviously we play man, but he's also more of a man press guy, and we don't do that a lot. So that's why it kind of makes sense. Why he's not going to fit with us, and we're not going to draft him, and maybe why we could possibly draft Emmanuel Forbes, because that's something he does struggle at. I'm not saying at 16. I'm saying if he's there in the second round, maybe you take him. I'm not taking him at 16 for sure. Not take him. And then someone commented, now in all seriousness, I like players on your team. I just think Joey Porter Jr. would be a great addition. I was more saying just because the other person said they didn't understand love from him, so that doesn't really matter. But Keim says he's a better fit in a system that uses more press man. He'll be good playing that way. Not all cornerbacks fit in every defense. These guys had success last year with the zone match system. Is different. So it's not that they don't like Joey Porter as a player. It's just that he doesn't really fit what they want to do very well. And you don't want another mistake like William Jackson III or something like that. I don't think it would be that egregious. I just don't think it makes sense for the Commanders to draft Joey Porter at 16. And yeah, that's really it. So if then it comes down to these are the DBs that are in play for the Commanders, whether it be at 16, at 24, 25, or if they decide to trade up a few spots. So, Christian Gonzalez is the dream, but that's not happening. I do not think Christian Gonzalez will be there at 16, probably not even at 10. If he's slipping, and if he's there at 11, 12, 13, I'm trading up and getting him. 100%. 100% I would do that. And then you get into the Devin Witherspoons. You get into Devin Witherspoon, which I think his range is probably 10 to 16. He stops at 16. Could get drafted by a couple teams after 10. Maybe there's a team or two that would draft him before 10. But I think there'll be one cornerback going in the top 10. Maybe the Eagles get the second corner at 10. But Devin Witherspoon, there's a possibility we're able to get him. And then after that, guys that I think will be there, Deonte Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. He's going up the boards, though. I've seen him go before 16, when before he was going in the 20s. So I think his range is probably 14 to 20, maybe 22. So he's another possibility. Brian Branch is another guy that's rising up draft boards. I would probably say his range is kind of 14 to 23, 25 as well. Patriots could take him because, you know, they like Bill Belichick has a connection to Nick Saban. He likes those Alabama DBs as well. So that's another possibility. Brian Branch, Deonte Banks, and then Devin Witherspoon are probably those top 3 guys that are in play at 16 or a little bit earlier maybe for, why am I blanking on Devin Witherspoon? And then there's a possibility you trade back, and the dream scenario for me is, I mean, Christian Gonzalez, but I just don't think that's going to happen. But if you could trade back, like let's say 4 to 7 spots, still draft Deonte Banks and get additional draft picks, draft capital, that would be absolutely huge. Also, guys, huge shout out to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Once again, they're a sleep mask company that makes amazing sleep masks, a bunch of different types, some that can change the temperature so you can sleep at the temperature that you desire. Also, some with, you know, sound systems and speakers so you can listen to what you want, you know, when you're going to bed, and something to wake you up. And I've been using one for the last couple weeks, and it's been really, really helpful for me, and I've gotten some great sleep. So make sure you guys check them out and use code HTTC for 10% off. So yeah, trading back and getting someone like Deonte Banks who can play in the slot or the outside, or Brian Branch who can also play, you know, he can play Buffalo nickel maybe in the slot for you, or safety, and, you know, get some additional assets. That's my dream scenario. That is my dream scenario for the Washington Commanders. And one thing I don't think has been mentioned, but I just want to talk about it. I want us to get some future capital if we do trade back. It doesn't have to be the top pick. So, like, if we trade back from, let's say, 16 to 24, like, we're probably going to get a 3rd round pick in that mix. Sure, I'll take the 3rd round pick from this year, but then the next highest pick that we get, maybe we get a 3rd round pick from 2024, or at least a 4th round pick from 2024. And that's not a lot, but it's just a little bit of additional assets for next year if we want to do something or move up next year. It just makes a little bit more sense, and it's not a lot, but I would like for us to get some potential assets for next year. I don't necessarily think they'll be thinking that way because they're kind of on the clock, but maybe they will. And even if it's you know, next year's 5th, I just want a little bit of extra assets for next year, especially when you're trading back. You already have 2 6th round picks. You have 8 draft picks. You have 8 draft picks in this year's draft. So if you can trade back, and let's say you go from 16 to 24 and you get a 3rd this year, maybe you get a 3rd next year and then a current 5th this year. And that would make sense just because, you know, having like 9 or 10 draft picks, you know, this roster is pretty filled out, and a lot of those 6th, 7th round picks won't make the team, or if they do, won't be high impact players. So that's kind of my possibility. And let's see, real quick, other things, just kind of random news. Curtis Samuel changing his number from 10 to 4. I don't really like that. I mean, it's him. I think he played high school and college in number 4, but I don't really like it, honestly. I mean, it's weird going from seeing Heineke or seeing someone else in Heineke's number, and also it's just weird number 4 because, I mean, we haven't had a 4, or at least not in a while, and so it's going to be besides Heineke, so it's going to be weird seeing someone wear that. And I kind of like Curtis Samuel in his number 10. Maybe that's just me, but 4 seems like a little bit of a weird number for a non-quarterback. Like a 1, maybe a 2 or a 3. Like, I could see a receiver rocking that or a running back rocking that, but a 4 is a little bit different. But he's played in it before, and I'll get used to it. I think it's totally fine. I think he's going to have to pay. I think he had to pay some money to switch that up for the jerseys that were already bought in number 10, but it is what it is. He wanted to do it, and hey, shout out to him for getting number 4. Some people thought it would be Brian Robinson. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.